Vincent, I'm Arabela Acalinei. I'm from Romania, patient with CMT. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you very much. So I'm Vincent Timmerman, I'm from Belgium, and I was asked to make the concluding remarks of this meeting today.
My name is Inbal David. I'm the president of the CMT Israel Association, and I'm very happy to be here with you. Actually, you said that your role was to summarize this meeting, and I was thinking, what are your recommendations for us? How do you see that? What's to do now?
What's to do now? Yeah. So we have been discussing quite a lot at this meeting, and we need to find now ways to focus on some key elements that we would like to continue for the future. So I would like to reorganize ways to meet again, but then in smaller groups to focus on a team. It can be a team on developing therapies. How do we have therapies delivered to patients? We can also make a team on how do we harmonize registries in Europe and beyond. And that can be organized in a workshop-based format, like for instance the European Neuromuscular Center does already for many years. And that could be done for the CMT as well. So like they do it for other muscle diseases, just to focus and create, because we had so many questions at this meeting that it will be the risk that you organize another meeting in 2 years or so, ending up with the same question. So we should actually try to focus on some themes which are crucial, and it's up to the European CMT Federation to decide which themes could be put on the agenda as a kind of workshop event, where you invite a limited amount of people. That's what I could propose.
Okay, and maybe you have some more practical advice for us on how to do it and do it very good at European level, and then bring it to national level as well. So just give us some practical advice, something that we can actually put in practice right away.
Yeah. So as I mentioned this in the final conclusion, I think we should have 3 groups of stakeholders here. I mean, the researchers, the clinicians, but also the patients, and possibly also pharma industry, and try to find ways how we can define the future, not only tomorrow, but also within 3 years, 5 years, 10 years ahead, that we can find ways to collaborate, but not short term, but long term, find ways to fund it, and by lobbying with a concrete example, we would like to solve this issue, and that can be through this type of workshops or meetings that you organize among only 25 people, where you invite clinicians, scientists, patient organizations, maybe 2, even a patient representative, and then limit to maybe 2-3 pharma industry who are interested in that topic. And you can also invite people outside the CMT field, because you can learn sometimes more from people who have done already some experiments, like in therapeutic treatment or making patient registries. You can actually invite experts who have done already all the work, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So you can actually make focused directed workshop or teamed directed workshop together with the ENC, and it's up to you to decide how you would like to see the format. And this allows you to bring a paper, a workshop report, and that report can be used by all world as a kind of reference. How are we now going to organize registries? How are we going to deliver therapies to patients? And any other topic that you would like to discuss. Do we need more animal models? Do we need models based on cell systems? Do we need artificial intelligence? Is it really needed, yes or not? And not make the mistake that others have done already. So you can gain expertise from other people, bring it into your workshop, and then discuss with them or receive advice how you can organize it specifically for CMT and related diseases. That is actually what I would like to propose for the future.
So if I can summarize your conclusion from today, you talked about three major things. One was the patient above methodology, that from the patient it's basically digested to the other stakeholders. And the second one was the opinion paper that you just mentioned for us to be printed in history, because this is a congress for printing in history. And the last thing is to do with the networking. And I'm thinking, okay, we saw here a lot of stakeholders who are really interested in CMT, who has different aspirations, and they would like to move forward with this field. But I think that if we're talking about the task forces that you just mentioned, or the ambassador or small groups, then we should be able to plan it in advance. So my question to you is, take into consideration that we take it and implement it. How would you envision the next conference, how success looks like in 2 years from now?
Then you should have reports from these workshops. So at the next second European CMT Federation specialist meeting, you can have again this type of people. Maybe you have other people, fine, which is great, because then you see it evolving. But then you can give the reports from this workshop to the people. Look, among a small group of people, we have been brainstorming around a certain topic, and these are the results. And we are going to publish this in a journal, and then this can be used, and that will be the framework for the future, you see. And in the beginning, many years ago, I was involved in one of the first CMT workshops. So I was actually one of the junior people who wrote the reports. We did a summary and wrote this manuscript. They are published workshop report. I would like to see this again published in journals, like any journal that can be posted type of reports. But I think I contributed to 6 of these workshops in the past, and I would like to see this again, because it's very productive. Because you create standardization, you create guidelines that can be read by any clinician, any researcher, any patient organization, even individual patients can understand this. And all these workshop reports are also translated in language that patients can understand. And these translations are done by each country. So all European countries, even Israel or other countries, can have a translation of the summary in a language that patients know, so that the patients know what has been discussed and why the money is spent for. So why do you do this type of work? So this is something that I would like to see.
And one last thing I wanted to ask you, because this was mostly a conference dedicated to specialists, to doctors, to scientists. What message would you like to transmit to the medical and scientific community in order for them to understand how important this partnership between patient organizations and scientists is, in order to encourage them to get engaged with patient representatives and patient organizations?
Yeah, actually, it's reflecting what you're asking me. I fully agree with your concept. So partnership is essential. You cannot advance science, even develop treatment, without involving everyone. So you need to have the patients, and that's why I like to see this above. And actually, it was one suggestion of the speakers today. So it was not my suggestion to.
So it was our working group.
Your working group, okay. So this helps also, but it shows that there is a need to start from the patient, a question from the patient that has to be solved by scientists, and so you need this partnership. If you don't have the partnership, or you're missing, like if you would drive a car with only 3 wheels, you have a problem. But if you have a 5th wheel, it's also not good. So you need a car with 4 wheels. So that the right people on the right place, the right moment to discuss new things, so that are the patients, that are the 4 wheels actually, the patients, the researchers, the clinicians, and actually the industry that also are needed. So these are the 4 wheels that need to drive the CMT car forward. So that's something we need.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.